Today our topic is the Stoic view on fame and popularity. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. One of the things Stoics believe we cannot fully control is fame and popularity. Let's explore this idea and see how it can help us live more peacefully and happily. Fame and popularity are things many people desire. They want to be known, admired, and respected by others. But Stoics would ask, why do we want these things? Is fame really valuable, or is it just an illusion that distracts us from what truly matters? The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, not from external things like fame, money, or the opinions of others. These things are outside our control, and relying on them for happiness is risky because they can be taken away at any moment. Imagine working hard to become famous, only to realize that fame does not bring the joy you expected. Or imagine being popular today but forgotten tomorrow. The Stoics would say that chasing fame is like chasing the wind. It's exhausting and ultimately unsatisfying. Instead, they encourage us to focus on developing our character, our virtues, and our inner strength. These are things no one can take away from us. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." This means that fame itself is not good or bad. It is our thoughts about fame that create problems. If we believe that being famous will make us happy, we set ourselves up for disappointment. But if we see fame as something neutral, neither good nor bad, we can free ourselves from the desire for it. This does not mean we should avoid success or recognition. It simply means we should not depend on them for our self-worth or happiness. Another Stoic, Seneca, said, "The crowd is a bad judge of what is truly valuable." This means that the opinions of others are often shallow and unreliable. People may admire you today for your looks, your talent, or your wealth, but these things are temporary. What matters more is who you are as a person, your kindness, your honesty, your courage. These are the qualities that define you, not the number of followers you have on social media or the applause you receive from others. The Stoics believe that living a virtuous life is more important than seeking approval from others. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his journal, "The applause of the crowd is not worth much. Your own approval is what matters." This is a powerful idea. Instead of worrying about what others think of us, we should focus on being true to ourselves. Are we living with integrity? Are we doing our best to be good people? These are the questions that matter, not whether we are famous or popular. The Stoics also remind us that fame and popularity are fleeting. Today's hero is often tomorrow's nobody. History is full of people who were once celebrated, but are now forgotten. The Stoics would say that this is a natural part of life. Everything changes, and nothing lasts forever. Instead of trying to hold on to fame, we should accept its temporary nature and focus on what endures: our values, our principles, and our inner peace. Now let's think about how this applies to our modern world. Today, social media makes it easier than ever to seek fame and popularity. We can post a photo, a video, or a thought and instantly receive likes, comments, and shares. But this constant pursuit of external validation can be harmful. It can make us feel anxious, insecure, and never satisfied. The Stoics would advise us to step back and ask ourselves, why do we care so much about these virtual approvals? Are we posting because we want to share something meaningful, or are we just seeking attention? If we are honest, we might realize that much of our desire for fame and popularity comes from fear of being alone, fear of being unimportant, fear of being forgotten. But the Stoics would tell us that these fears are misplaced. Our worth does not come from how many people know our name or admire us. It comes from how we live our lives and how we treat others. So how can we apply Stoic wisdom to our own lives? First, we can practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? Is it fame and popularity, or is it something deeper, like kindness, wisdom, and courage? Second, we can focus on what we can control. We cannot control whether others like us or admire us, but we can control our actions, our thoughts, and our attitudes. By focusing on these things, we can build a strong and stable sense of self that does not depend on external validation. Third, we can practice gratitude. Instead of always wanting more and more followers, more likes, more fame, we can appreciate what we already have. Gratitude helps us see that we do not need fame to be happy. Finally, we can remind ourselves that fame is temporary. No matter how famous or popular we become, it will not last forever. This can help us keep things in perspective and not take ourselves too seriously. The Stoics also teach us to be humble. Fame often leads to pride, and pride can blind us to our flaws. The Stoics believe that humility is essential for growth. By staying humble, we remain open to learning and improving. We recognize that we are not perfect, and that there is always room for growth. This attitude helps us stay grounded, even if we achieve success or recognition. Another important Stoic idea is that we should not compare ourselves to others. In the world of fame and popularity, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We see someone who is more successful, more admired, or more famous, and we feel jealous or inadequate. But the Stoics would say that comparison is pointless. Everyone's journey is different, and we cannot control what others have or achieve. What we can control is our own effort and attitude. By focusing on our own path, we can avoid the stress and dissatisfaction that come from comparison. In conclusion, the Stoic view on fame and popularity is a reminder to focus on what truly matters. Fame and popularity are external things that come and go. They are not the source of lasting happiness or fulfillment. Instead, we should focus on developing our inner qualities or virtues, our character, and our sense of purpose. By doing this, we can live a life that is meaningful and satisfying, regardless of whether we are famous or not. The Stoics teach us that true happiness comes from within, not from the opinions of others. So let us strive to be the best versions of ourselves, not for the sake of fame, but for the sake of living a good and virtuous life. This is the Stoic way, and it is a path that leads to peace, contentment, and true freedom.